Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Today is April the 22nd, 2024, and it is 7:59 a.m. And I am here making another video because I want to share with you some things. This morning, Miranda took a good shower. She took her medication because she has a little cough. She had fish soup today. And she went happy to school. Refreshing, happy. And she took her medication. And she took her shower. So she feels really happy. And then she ran into her friend in school, Jahida. And she came to the car and she helped Miranda get off the car. And they were hugging and walking to the cafeteria. They were very happy. But Miranda had her hood on, because she had to pass by the principal and the teacher. She fears the teacher because the teacher has a tattoo on his leg of a skull head and serpent. And then she fears the principal because I guess we had some battles, at the meeting, and, we had some disagreements. But overall, she went happy to school. But anyways, I want to talk to you a little bit about the school, okay? I've been in meetings back and forth, and now that Miranda got burned from her hand, I've been to doctor's office back and forth and therapy for her hand, back and forth. And, I just want to tell every parent that's out there, do the best you can for your child because they need you. Your children need you. They cannot speak up for themselves because they live in fear, or they're being bullied by a teacher, or they don't know how to go about, what their needs are in school. But you are their parent, you are their advocate, you are their provider, and you can do it. I had a hard time too because lack of knowledge. I didn't know where to go, who to talk to, where these places are, how to make reports. I didn't know where to even get the paper complaint forms to make a complaint about the school. I didn't even know what to write, how to write it, what to say, how to express myself on paper. I didn't know those things, okay? So, I'm stubborn, and I try to learn as much as I could. I tried to express myself as much as I could and as well as I can. But it's hard. It's very hard. It's very hard when you don't know, or you have a second, language that you speak and you can't, communicate, or you don't know what to express yourself to the person on your needs or your child's needs. So what I did, I started hearing people tell me that you got to go to their supervisor and you have to go to their report to the constituent office downtown. You have to make up this, you have to put a complaint form. I'm like, where do I get the forms? Where's this place at? Who do I talk to? Make appointments. And I've been just verbally talking to them. I was just going over there talking to them. Look, he did this, he did that, he said, she said, and I wasn't getting anywhere. So I decided to say, well, my spelling is not that well, but I don't know how to express myself on paper to say, this is what he told me and this and that. And you got to write down the dates, the time, when it happened, what's the reason, and all this stuff. The what, why, when, and where, and who. So I just turned around and said, well, never give up. Never give up. So I just, sometimes as parents, we give advice to our kids and tell them never give up, but we give up as parents. But we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to say, if we're going to give advice and tell your kids don't give up, you should never give up either. And keep on finding solutions. What I do is I drop off Miranda at school, and I'm still finding resources and talking to her CVRC worker, talking to, the district, or talking to somebody that I know I can get some help from. And what's so sad about this is that the schools know exactly what they're doing. They know they have the funds for your children, but they don't want to give it to them because they take care of the money. So what I did is that I had told a OM at the office. She's a really nice lady, very nice, and she does her job very well. And there's two there that don't do their job very well, and they're very inconsiderate and very mean, and they just like to cause problems for you. So I tried to get the learning guidance supervisor, and they told me it was the principal. And then I said, well, it's no use of going to them because they're all in the same boat. So then I tried to get the supervisor to the OM, office manager, and it was no use too, because that's their boss. So the learning guidance is the principal. The principal is the boss to the OM, the office manager, and the principal is the boss to the learning guidance. Okay. So they're all in one boat. Okay. They're all there in the school. They're all working together. They all see each other every single day. So they have a good relationship. So what I did, I said, well, step 2. If step 1 didn't work for me, I have to take step 2. So I said, well, I talked to the nice OM office manager there, and I told her, I said, can I get the supervisor to the principal? I want his name and his phone number. So she looked it up. She found it. When I called him in the evening, she gave me the number. So I called him. I called his boss. And I told him, look, all these issues are happening, and I'm sick and tired of them. They've been going on for years, and they're not following doctor's orders. They're not giving Miranda the speech therapist. She has one, but it's online, and it's no good because she's not helping her physically pick up her head. And I said, and I think it was around spring break of 2024, before they went on spring break. So we had a meeting before they went on spring break. And when we had the meeting on spring break, after coming back from spring break, Miranda, the principal, came up to me because when we had the meeting, I had called in everybody. I called in the principal, the learning guidance. I called in the boss of the principal, and I was there, and two CVRC workers were there too. And I addressed everything to them. I mean, nobody wanted to start the meeting. The principal's boss said, well, how are we going to start this meeting? So we all looked at each other. And I just seen everybody so quiet, very, very quiet, very obedient, And I said, fine, nobody wants to start this, I'll start it. So I introduced myself. I said, hi, my name is Linda, and I'm the mother of Miranda, and I just, call this meeting because I want to address some issues that's going on in my life with my child, and I feel like my daughter's not getting the proper education that she needs and the proper treatment that she needs. I feel like my daughter is being neglected from her education, from, learning skills. And she has doctor orders. I up to date them. I brought them to the office, and they don't want to apply this doctor's orders to her. So after I said all this stuff, the principal was sweating. He was sweating in the room, and he kept going like this. He goes, it's hot in here. Yeah, because your boss is here. He asked us too. He goes, is anybody hot in here? Everybody said, no, we're fine. But he was the only one sweating because, he was guilty. So after that meeting that we had, spring break, he came up to me the second day, because they started on April the 2nd, 2024. And around April the 3rd, 2024, he came up to me when I was standing outside, because Miranda told me she didn't want to go to school because she had sleepy feet. And usually they go out in the community and they go out and doing things. They either go shopping, or they go to work, or they go do things. And that day he came out and he said, Linda, I have some good news for you. And I was like, yeah. He goes, well, Miranda's finally going to get a physical speech therapist face-to-face. It's not going to be no more online. She's not going to have a speech therapist online. and she's going to have one in the school. She's going to have one face-to-face, but they haven't told me the days and times yet. And I guess he gave me the paper, but I haven't read it yet because I haven't had time. But I do have a message from him explaining to me the dates and times. And at the beginning, when he gave me this letter, when he told me about this, I told him I wanted it in writing because I have to share it with our CVRC worker. Plus, I like to keep it a file in writing paper. It's really good to have everything on copy because people, they forget what they said verbally, and you want to make sure that you keep what they said and put it in writing. You know, give it to me in writing. So I had told him, I said, can you give me this, what you just told me, in writing? He goes, sure, yeah. So he comes out. He knew he was lacking on giving me this paper. So he comes up all suddenly from the office, and he comes and gives me a letter. And all it says that it had the school logo, the date, and it had that Miranda already started service. That's all. And I disapprove of that because it did not have the person name that she's going to work with, the phone number for me to have communication with them, and it did not have the dates, the official date it started. It did not have the date the official date that they accepted it, and the first date that she started, and it didn't have I guess a phone number. So I was pretty upset, and I'm like, what kind of letter is this? It's just a one sentence letter. It just says she started, and if she wants the day and time, it's right there, the time, the date, and there's the school logo. It's already on the paper. So I was like, no, this is unacceptable for me. So, and then he ended up putting that she started on April the 22nd, 2024. And that day I went to go talk to him, it was April 11, 2024. And the day we had the meeting, it was on March the 22nd, right on Miranda's birthday, March the 22nd, 2024. So I had to go back to the office and tell him, I need another letter. Actually, I didn't go back. I called the OEM office manager, and I told her, I need the principal to correct this letter because this letter is going to be a copy going to the CVRC worker. You see, when it becomes of a parent to the school, they don't want to do nothing for you. They just want to verbally just tell you and pass you by just like that. And if it has to do with you, that you want personal information, they don't want to give it to you. They'll fight with you. But if you say it's for a CVRC worker or any kind of worker for your files, then they'll go ahead and make it for you and give it to you because they all work together. It's all nothing but business. So he got the letter back. Well, I didn't give it to my captain, but he got the information. And he made me another letter. And this other letter that he gave me, it gave me the official day she started, the time, and it gave me the phone number, and it gave me the name of the person. But they didn't give me now the hours. How many hours you giving my daughter? How many days of the week, and how much time? She got 30, 45 minutes, an hour. See, all that we need to know. We need to investigate that. Don't let them just throw you with some simple paper, say, I got all information, when it's not enough. You have to examine that paper. You have to make sure that it has the logo, the month, the day, the year, the time, and you have to make sure it has, she has services once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, or how many times of the week she has services, how many hours. You need to have all that, and you need to make sure you have communication with the person to address your issues to them so they know how to work with Miranda, because the school is not going to tell you that the school is not going to tell the speech therapist that Miranda's been bullied by a teacher, because it's not in their interest to have more money pulled out. They just want to give her, whatever. But they're not there to target the area where she's being affected. They're not there to say, okay, well, mom said that she's been affected by this teacher that's been bullying her since 2017, 2018, and we want to make sure that Miranda has these services so she can be able to get out of her trauma that she's in. See, they don't have that interest because it's going to cost them more money. And I had told him, I said, look, I need for you to give me the name of the lady and the phone number. So, and then we need to set up a meeting. I need to have an appointment date with her so I can address to her the issues that Miranda's been going through so she can work with her. But it's not in their interest to help Miranda. It's not. Because the more they dig to see what kind of issues she's going through, the more money they have to put out of his pocket to pay this person so they can be able to see how they can help her to be more successful in class, in school. So it's not convenient for them. But us as parents, we need to say, okay, they won't do it because it's not in their interest to do it, but you have to push them to do it. And if they don't do what you tell them to do, then you go start messing with their pocket. You have to go to their boss and tell their boss, look, I have these issues with this principal. I have these issues with this OM, office manager. I have these issues with this learning guidance person is supposed to be directing me and helping me, encouraging me and motivating me and telling me how to go about the things, and she's not doing it. Instead of doing that, they're targeting me, telling me that, we can't go through you because you don't have conservatorship. We have to ask Miranda. We can't ask you. And I'm like, you're not asking my daughter nothing. First, you educate her right, and then she could be able to answer to you. But if she doesn't know what she's saying yes to, I'm not going to let her say yes to something you want her to say yes to without her knowing what she's saying yes to. So I'm not going to let her do that. So I told him, I said, you know what? I got to be enforcing the school to help her. And if they don't like it, that I'm addressing these things, what I'm requiring for them to do, then you have to go a step higher and speak to their supervisor. If their supervisor, if the principal supervisor doesn't want to help you, then you ask for his supervisor and keep climbing the stairs from supervisor to supervisor to supervisor to supervisor. And finally, you will get what you want and you will get what you need. And if they still don't listen, then you bring them into court because you have to show the court that you tried to work with them, but they did not want to comply to what your needs are. They didn't want to follow doctor's orders. They didn't want to make an appointment for the speech therapist to come and talk to mom so we can address these issues. They did not want to work with the parent. And we as parents have to be involved in our children's lives. If not, then what kind of parents are we? What kind of parents are we? So that's my issues I'm going through. Thank God we already have the physical speech therapist for Miranda, face to face. Thank God that, the boss was willing to come to the school and set up this meeting and get everybody together, and they agree. And the school's paying for the services now. But what disappoints me is that why after so many years? Why? Now Miranda only has 2 years here. You think in 2 years she's going to be able to catch up with everything that they didn't educate her, that they didn't give her? So I'm even still thinking of taking this to court. But I have to, do some more investigation. I got to make sure I'm covering my back. I got to make sure that, I have something that they can waive the fees from the courts because they charge money too. I got to make sure that everything I'm doing right, I have all the documentations. I have to make sure I have all the paperwork. I have to make sure I have everything. Because it's not fair for them to look at our kids as a money bag. You know how many kids come into the school, to the Unified School District, and then they're all being ignored? They all come to school not knowing, and they all leave the school the same way they came in, the same way they come out, not knowing nothing. And to them, it's okay. It's okay. But to your kids, is it okay when they get hurt out there? When somebody tries to kidnap them, and somebody tries to deceive them, somebody tries to hurt them, or they get lost because they don't even know what's what. They can't communicate with nobody because there's no communication in the school. There's no communication at home. There's no communication in the child's life to making them, to motivate them, encourage them, empower them so they can become successful. They look at these kids that they have no hope. They're never going to talk. They're never going to learn. They're never going to be able to have a good job the way we do. They're never going to be able to be having children. They're never going to have a future. They're always going to be disabled. That's the way they look down at our kids. But we as parents have to say no. If they have life and they're here for a purpose, We have to make sure that they complete their purpose, the why they're here on earth. We have to make sure that they can learn, they can succeed, and they can be successful in this life, and they can prosper and progress in this life, and they can be an example for somebody else. Because if we don't try to help our kids, what are we doing? We're doing the same thing they're doing. We're leeching off of them. We're just getting that Social Security money. We're getting that welfare money. We're getting those food stamps. We're getting that free Medi-Cal. We're getting the free food. We're getting everything free. And these kids, what about their future? What about their career? What about the goals and the dreams and the desires that they have in their heart to become somebody in this world? It's not their fault. It's our fault. Why? Because we are not standing up for them. We need to stand up for these kids. We need to be there for them. We need to empower them, strengthen them, encourage them to do as much as they could do, because they have the ability. I always tell them in my meetings, don't look at her disability. Look at her ability that she can do it. He can do it. We can do it. If we work together, we can succeed. We can prosper, progress in life, and we can show these people that these kids can do it if you teach them how. Remember, you were a kid. You didn't know these things. I didn't know these things. But we overcame them. And if we can overcome everything that comes against us, they can overcome everything that comes against them. They can do it. We can do it. That's why we need to work together as parents. We need to work together. We need to find resources. We need to hear videos. We need to know where to go, who to talk to, what to do, and put everything to practice. We need to do that. Because if you don't get up and do it, nobody's going to come to you and tell you how to do these things. You're going to be sad, miserable, lost, confused. You're going to, be scared. You're always going to live in fear. You're never going to overcome fear because you don't stand up and do things. The Bible says, don't wait for tomorrow, what you can do today, right now. Today is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Okay? So that is my story for today. On April the 22nd, 2024 at 8:22 a.m. And that's my story. So enjoy it, learn from it, and do it. Put everything to work. Get those people. Get that money. Get those services as available for your child. See, they don't want to give it to you because you're not standing up fighting for it. The Lord said, blessed are those who fight for righteousness. So I fight it for Miranda to have that physical speech therapist. She got it. And she's already going through it in the school. And they're paying for it. They're giving her these services because I stand up and fight for what's right. I fight it for my daughter. I brought in the principal's boss in, his supervisor. And they said, well, she's doing everything that she's supposed to do. She updated her doctor's orders. She made us a copy. She brought it to us. And I made sure they signed it, dated, logo, time, and they made me a copy and give it to me. So I can have my proof because they will always tell you, you never brought me nothing. At McLean High School, when Miranda was going over there, I gave them the paper a lot of times. They told me I never took them nothing until I got fed up. I went to the doctor's office and I told them, I said, look, I gave these papers to the school so many times already, and they keep saying that I didn't take them nothing, then it's not in the file, because if I would have took them something, it would have been in the file. And the doctor simply said, next time you go give them a paper, make them sign it, date it, logo, time, and make a copy and give it to you. And they keep a copy, you keep a copy. So when they say, you didn't give me nothing, you have proof on your paper because you made them sign it, date it, logo, time, make a copy. And then you can show your proof. And you have to follow it. You have to keep it. Don't lose it the way they lose it. So that way you can go back and say, how can you say you didn't have it if I have mine? Right here. I have mine. So that's the way you do the things, okay? Because these people in the school, every paper you take to them, they will hold it for a period of time, and then they'll throw it away. And they're good on blaming you that you did not bring the papers to them. That you never did. And this is what happened with Miranda too. And on October the 19th, no, it was October the 2nd, 2019. I had to take the diet food form to the school, McLean High School. And supposedly they filed it, and they kept saying that they don't have it, they don't see it, they don't know where it's at. I never brought it to them. And when I did that, the same thing to them. I made them sign a day, the local time when I brought it to them. And then I ended up finding out where this place at, the nutritionist place. My papers, I took them over there on that same day. I took it over there on, let's see. You see, it's kind of confusing because time has already passed. But when I can remember that on October the 2nd, she had a pulmonary disease appointment at the pulmonary center. And that was on October the 2nd. Okay, and I took him the paper on, I think it was that same day. And then a while back, and then after a couple of weeks ago, I remember, I don't know if it was before she had the appointment or after. But I'm pretty sure it was on October the 2nd. And by October the 3rd, 2019, what took McLean 8 months to do when I turned him the paper, I took care of it in one day. In one day. Let's say, for example, because I don't remember the date. For example, if I had my appointment, if I had turned in the papers to them a while back, and then suddenly I had my doctor's appointment, and the doctor gives me this paper, and I already had turned it into them. So so what happens is that on October the 2nd, I went to the nutritionist place to go fix Miranda's papers. And by October the 3rd, 2019, she was already having her meal. So what McLean did 8 months ago, nothing. I took care of it in one day, something. In one day. The only reason why it took us 8 months, because they were lacking on interest in her in her health. So, and because I did not know where to go, I didn't know where this place was. I thought just giving it to the school, they would take care of it because they have email, they can fax it, they can right away take care of the issue. So no, they didn't take care of it. It took them 8 months, and they said I never gave them the paper. Never. So once I went straight to the nutritionist center way out there in Shaw and Brawley, they took care of it, and they faxed everything to the school, and then the next day Miranda started having her food. But from that time, 2019, look where we're at now in 2024. And Birdie, now because Miranda got burned on her hand on March the 5th, 2024, now Birdie's starting to have speech therapists. So we as parents have to fight. There's a lot of money in the school, a lot of services in the school. There's a lot of things that is being hidden in the school, but they are hiding it from our children, and they are not providing them with the correct services. And they're telling me that Miranda doesn't need it. I'm like, how can you say that Miranda doesn't need it if the doctor's only requesting it? The doctor is saying she needs a speech therapist, an extended time with a psychologist, a one-on-one teacher, and a diet food. How can you say she's brilliant, she's bright, she can pick up things easy and fast if you're not providing these services for her? And if the doctor said it, you should do it. You have to follow doctor's orders, and doctor's orders are doctor's orders. Nope. They don't want to do it. They don't. They have a right to refuse you service. But like I had the papers from the doctor's office, and I called his boss in. I told his boss everything, and I laid him all the cards on the table. I told him, look, I don't have conservatorship. They're not working with me. They're giving me a bad time. I have up to date the paperwork. I have been taking her to a doctor. She's been burned from her hand. Miranda needs these services. The doctor says she needs them, and they're not complying to them. So I make him look bad. the way they make me look bad. The way they call the cops on me and said that I bruised Miranda's arm, they turn around and make me look bad, open a case up against me, and they end up reporting me without letting me know. So why should I let them know that I'm going to report them to their boss? If they can do it to me and they can do it to you, you can do it to them too as well. Because tricks are for kids, and I don't play those games. So, you have to stand up for your kids. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to make sure that they comply to everything that's there. You have to find out what services are there for them. You have to do your reading, your research, and you have to make sure you apply it. Because you're never going to get the services you need unless you get up and do something about it. And there was a lot of times I had to miss church service. But I believe that just because I don't go to church and I'm taking care of business, it doesn't mean that I'm backsliding. It doesn't mean that, I didn't go to church, I'm not a Christian anymore. No. When God chooses you, you're a Christian. Wherever you go, you're still a Christian. Because He protects you, He seals you, He guides you, He leads you. And He's always with you. He will never leave you or forsake you. So don't let people play with your mind. Especially these church people, they play with your mind a lot. So just because I'm not in church doesn't mean that I don't have God. Because my body is the church. Okay? That's just a building. It could be burned in a minute. Like Sodom and Gomorrah. But like I said, you're the church. And, you have the strength. You have the power. You have the, you're very encouraged to do things. You can do it. You can do it. I struggle a lot. And they made me waste years and years. That Miranda could have been at a higher level than she is today. She could have been higher, already communicating. But no, because of lack of interest in her education, she lost a lot of time. That's why I'm still thinking twice if I should take this into court or not. Because they owe her a lot. They do. They owe me a lot for making me go through a lot of struggles. And they owe her a lot for making her waste time and not giving her the service that she's entitled to in the school. So, you guys, stand up, fight back. Don't fight physically, but fight in prayer. And make sure you do your research and make sure you get what you need. Get what you need and do what you have to do. Don't get discouraged. Don't give up. And keep on fighting every single day. Find something different. Write it down. Put it away. File it. Apply it. And, make your notes too. Everything that they do to you. Write down a complaint form. Write down, get a piece of paper or a scratch piece of paper. Write everything down. On this day, this woman said this and this man said that and they did this to me and they did that to me. And they won't give me this and they won't give me that. Write it down because you need to write it down. The month, day, the year, the time, the reason. And then you need to know where to go apply it. And even though you don't know where to go, at least write it down so when you do know where to go, you have all your files right there. And you can make a big complaint form against them. Because a lot of people are standing up for their kids, believe it or not. But we just want to encourage you that you're not standing up for your kids. You can get up and do something. Get up and do something to help your kids. And you can also invite people in your meeting. You don't have to say, well, this is just a meeting between me and the principal or me and the teacher. No, you can invite your grandma, your grandpa, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your aunt, your uncle, your niece, your nephew. You can invite anybody you want. You can invite your CVRC worker. You can invite anybody you want. You have that right to invite anybody you want in the IEP meeting. You also have a right to refuse to sign the papers. But the first thing they're going to tell you, if you refuse to sign the papers, we cannot provide these services for you. That's the devil lying, okay? Oh, so many times I have signed the papers for them. And because they throw me with that. And they still did not give Miranda the services that she wanted. What you need to do is get that IEP paper. And what you need to do is sit down, go to a local library, go to a nice, quiet place. Sit down and you need to read those papers. Because what they do in the IEP papers are so lazy. And they have no interest in your children's education. What they do, they get the prior IEP paper. And they present it to the present IEP papers that they're going to do. And they just do a little bit of changes. But it's the same thing. And then they want you just to sign it. They just change certain words to make it sound different. And make it sound more better. So that way you can hurry up and sign the paper. And they can say, I did my job. No. You didn't do your job. because every year should be different. It should be different, and it should be a new report every year. So what you guys got to do is make sure that they're not doing that. You got to make sure. If you have to make the report, make it, and tell them this is what I want it to be said in the IEP paper. You can write it out and you can give it to them, and they have to type it up for you. So be in the lookout. Just recently, you know what happened to me? Miranda went to St. Mark Center. And the teacher told me, well, I don't know if you're going to want her to buy something over there to eat or something like a salad or something. I said, yeah, I gave him $20. He comes back with this excuse telling me that Miranda lost $14. He goes, it's just $14. I'm like, wow. Well, how about if you lose and give me my $14? So this is the second time already I lost $14. First time the teacher said she lost her purse and her money on the bus. They never found a way to recover it. They never pay me back. They just want me to forget about it like nothing happened. At these times, it's hard right now to forget about it. They didn't never provide that money for me, and they didn't want to talk about it. But I make an issue out of it. And then this time, too, that they lost $14 from her, too. So they're like, well, she lost it. We're trying to make her be responsible. Make her be responsible with your money. Don't let her be responsible with my money. And not even I give her those chances. So, but I already took care of that issue. I already took care of the problem. I took care of the issue, and it's already been taken care of. But, the first one, they lost a person. They never contact the bus, the Fresno City bus. They never contacted them. They never paid me back. They never did nothing. But what you should do, report it. Report it. Report it. Because like it or not, everything that you do, they're like this, but they're reporting you. They got their eye on you. They're reporting you, but they don't tell you, and they're being real nice. Hi, how are you today? And then later on, they have a knife stabbing in your back. That's the way they function. And the way they function is the way you're supposed to function back to them to see how do they like to be reported. The way they reported me, knowing that I'm her mom, I'm fighting for her, I'm bringing her to school every day, I'm feeding her, I'm bathing her, I'm taking care of her every single day. And they decide to just say, I'm going to call the cops on the mom to make me and my school look good and make her look bad and go to jail and have a record. I was mad. I was really, really upset. But you know what? I had to keep my calm. I had to keep myself in control. And I have to just take step by step. Where do I have to go to close this case that they opened against me? Because it's going to look bad on my record. And then they turn around and tell me at the IEP meeting, we're sorry, but we have to do our job. Well, hey, I'm sorry too, but I have to do my job. You're taking care of I'm taking care of my. So, vice versa. You want to play games with me? Well, let's play, see who will win, who will get burned first, you or me. So you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of kids because they're easy to report you. They're easy to make a bad record on you, and they're easy to take your kids away from you. They reported me to the Child Protective Services saying that I bruised my daughter. And they didn't even know that she had a bruise until I brought it to their attention. Yep. She had got a bruise on her arm. And they turned around and reported me to make themselves look good and make me look bad. But I already closed the case. The case is closed. So I just wanted to, get this video going and let you guys know what to do, where to be on the lookout. The Lord says you should always be on guard because the enemy is like a roaring lion. He's out to steal, kill, and destroy you and your family. But because I'm coming strong at them, they don't like me. And that's okay. They don't like me. They didn't like Jesus. But that's the bad spirit that they have. So you guys keep on doing good. Keep on fighting. Keep on looking for solutions. Keep on praying. Do your fasting. Ask God to help you. And help Him to encourage you, to empower you, to strengthen you, to stand up against your enemies. Because if not, your kids are not going to get the skills and the education that they need from school. All you guys are gonna do is just drop off your kids, and they're gonna use them to report them to get good money in the school, showing that they're good. That's a good school, that they're doing a good job, and these kids are getting well educated, and they're lying. They're lying. Because if the kids are being educated well, they won't be coming out of school the same as they went in. Okay, not knowing nothing. They don't know the months, the days, the years. They don't know how to read, write, spell. They don't know how to talk. The same way. And all they do is make an excuse and saying, we're giving them the services. That's all. They'll say, later on, she'll pick it up later on. Don't worry. No, I tested my daughter. I found out in 3 days. In 3 days, she can memorize to say, yes, I can. She can memorize to say 2 words, 3 words, or 2 words in the sentence. Yes, I do. Yes, I can. In 3 days. How many years they come to school and they still can't get the words in order? They've been coming to school for a long time. When you work with them, you can see a difference. In days. When you don't work with them, you don't see nothing. And they just make this lousy excuse. Don't worry, she'll pick it up. When? When she's going to pick it up? The only way she will pick it up is when you pick yourself up to help her. So that's my testimony. That's my story. That's what I have to say for today. But keep on fighting. Keep on doing what you have to do. Make yourself look good. If people don't appreciate you, appreciate yourself. If people don't encourage you, motivate you, encourage yourself, motivate yourself, do things yourself. You don't need people in your back. All you need is the power of God that's within you, that's going to help you to put through everything that you have to go through. So God bless you. I hope this video will help you, and I hope I'll keep you guys all in my prayers, that God will help us fight back against everybody that's been taken from us from years and years and years. And I just pray and hope that, you guys will get up and stand up for your kids, because your kids need you. They're your precious babies. They don't deserve to be treated mean by anybody. If you don't treat your kids mean, nobody should even touch or lay a hand on your kids. You are their protector. You are their shield. You are their provider. You are everything for them. So you need to show your kids the love that you have for them by fighting for their rights. Okay? So God bless you. And I'll see you in my next video.